A man jumps naked into an ice hole in -40 degrees, but suddenly, a deep growl echoes behind him. An unexpected visitor is standing right at his back. Teddy grips the ice spear tightly, barely daring to breathe. He knows very well that alone and unarmed like this, he's no match for a massive brown bear. All he can do is hide in the freezing water and wait quietly for the beast to leave. But the bear has no intention of going anywhere. Instead, it lazily lies down nearby. If this keeps going, even if he isn't eaten by the bear, the brutal cold will finish him first. Out here, in the desolate Siberian wilderness, there's nothing Teddy can do except pray. The animal walks away soon. Maybe now, he's finally starting to regret this journey for freedom that made him abandon everything. Just a few days earlier, Teddy was a highly paid journalist, envied by many. Tired of the noisy city, he left it all behind and came to the place he had always dreamed about, Siberia. At -40 degrees, Lake Baikal is frozen solid with nearly 2 meters of thick ice. Even trucks can drive freely across the lake. Teddy opens the truck door and admires the breathtaking work of nature. All the confusion and restlessness that once haunted him in the city vanish completely in this moment. After crossing the lake, a lonely wooden cabin on the shore is the destination of his journey. He spent 8,000 yuan to buy this small cabin. When the previous owner left, he even gave Teddy a hunting rifle. For the first time, Teddy truly feels what it means to belong to himself and not be controlled by life anymore. But at this moment, he has no idea what lies ahead. After the brief excitement, Teddy begins planning his new home. The place isn't big, but for one person, it's more than enough. When night finally falls, he realizes his suitcase has already frozen shut. Tonight's dinner is just 2 bags of jam. Later that night, he discovers there isn't a single drop of water in his kettle. Luckily, outside the door, the previous owner left some stored ice. Teddy melts the ice in a pot and finally enjoys a cup of hot tea. After a long exhausting day, sleepiness slowly takes over. He crawls into his sleeping bag, ready to get a good night's rest. But in the middle of the night, he wakes up again, freezing cold. The firewood in the stove is almost gone. He throws in 2 more logs, saving the last trace of warmth in the room. Early the next morning, Teddy walks to the center of the lake and quietly stares into the distance. Yesterday's excitement has already begun to fade. He now has the life he dreamed of, yet something still feels missing. Determined to focus, Teddy begins cleaning his new home. He removes the old decorations, hangs brand new curtains, and arranges his favorite books. After a full day of work, the cabin finally starts to feel like a real home. Teddy sits on the bed, enjoying a silence he has never experienced before. All the restless emotions drift away like falling snowflakes, one by one, frozen forever within the endless glacier. That night, a deep rumbling sound suddenly echoes outside. Curious, Teddy walks out to find the source. It turns out, the sound comes from the ice beneath the lake, cracking apart. The strange natural phenomenon fills him with excitement. He lies flat on the ice, carefully listening to nature's lingering music. The next morning, he even brings out his trumpet to answer the lake with a melody. But no matter where you live, as long as you're human, you still have to worry about food, water, and survival. Teddy takes out a hand-cranked ice drill, trying to get water, but drilling through 2 meters of ice is far from easy. He grabs an axe and swings it with all his strength. After countless blows, he finally breaks open a hole in the ice. After many days, Teddy finally enjoys a hot shower. When he's done, he casually urinates right beside the bathroom door. Looking at the ice hole, Teddy suddenly gets a crazy idea. He wants to try an ice bath, but the moment he steps into the water, a low growl comes from behind him. A brown bear is wandering near the shore, looking for food. Luckily, it doesn't notice Teddy hiding in the ice hole. Just as Teddy is about to lose strength, the bear finally turns its attention to the storage shed. Teddy rushes back into the cabin and waits until the noise outside disappears. But when he finally steps out again, the bear is gone. Unfortunately, the supplies in the storage shed are gone as well. That night, Teddy doesn't sleep at all. The hunting rifle left by the previous owner is now his only comfort. With his supplies gone, Teddy decides to try hunting. Eventually, he spots a deer in the forest, but his shooting skills are honestly pretty terrible. One shot, and the deer bolts away in panic. Watching his dinner escape, Teddy chases after it, but accidentally steps into a bear trap. Fortunately, his high boots protect his leg. Clearly, hunting isn't going to work. The next day, Teddy puts on his ice skates, pulls a sled, and heads across the lake to buy supplies. After 5 hours, he reaches a small village. On the other side, Teddy tells the villagers about the trap and asks if anyone else lives nearby. The villagers reply firmly that it must belong to that man. 12 years ago, a Russian man committed murder to escape the police. He hid in the wilderness, but by now, he has either left or died long ago, because no one could survive that many years in such a place. On the way back, the villagers warn Teddy that a blizzard is coming soon. Sure enough, the moment he returns, snow begins to rage outside. The roaring storm fills Teddy with fear. Outside, a violent blizzard. Inside, a freezing draft. Another sleepless night begins. The temperature keeps dropping. Teddy has no choice but to sleep beside the stove, feeding it wood through the night. The next day, the storm still hasn't stopped, but the worst worst part is that the firewood has run out. With no experience, Teddy makes a fatal mistake. He grabs his rifle and steps outside, fighting through the blizzard toward the woodpile. But when he finally picks up the logs, he turns around and realizes he can't find the cabin anymore. Teddy is lost. In the raging storm, he collapses, crying out in desperation. Eventually, he loses consciousness. Just as death closes in, a mysterious force suddenly drags him away. A tall man rescues Teddy. When Teddy wakes up, he's back inside his cabin, safe and warm. Firewood is neatly stacked by the stove. A pot of hot water is already boiling, but the mysterious man has disappeared without a trace. Teddy can't help wondering who could possibly save someone in such a deadly storm. Determined to find him, Teddy begins searching everywhere to lure the man out. He even starts practicing his shooting. Unexpectedly, the man really appears, but he doesn't talk much. Instead, he offers to teach Teddy shooting. In exchange, the remaining bullets will belong to him. Teddy agrees without hesitation. Under the man's guidance, his shooting skills improve rapidly. True to his word, Teddy hands over the remaining bullets. The man takes them and leaves immediately. Even though he barely speaks, Teddy has already guessed his identity. He must be the fugitive from 12 years ago. That night, Teddy can't sleep again. He keeps wondering how strong that man must be to survive more than a decade in this brutal wilderness. Over the next few days, Teddy searches everywhere, but the man appears and disappears like a ghost. Just when Teddy is ready to give up, a deep voice suddenly sounds behind him. The man noticed Teddy was looking for him and decided to show himself. Teddy introduces himself honestly and tells him everyone believes he's already dead. He's safe now. After hesitating, the man finally removes his mask, revealing a weathered face. This time, he plans to teach Teddy how to hunt. He quickly tracks prey, raises the rifle, and fires a perfect shot. Just like that, they secure enough food for several days. Back at the cabin, Teddy hands him a glass of liquor. The man swallows hard and drinks it in one gulp. That rich flavor is something he hasn't tasted in over 10 years. Teddy tries to learn more about him, but the man remains cautious. He lies, saying he's just a villager from across the lake. Then he asks Teddy why he came here. Teddy explains his search for freedom. The man sighs and tells him seriously, this place is no place to live. Then he grabs a deer leg and leaves. From that moment on, Teddy can't stop thinking about him. He no longer cares about the life he once dreamed of. Now, he only wants to know what kind of past that mysterious man has lived through. The next day, while chopping wood, Teddy suddenly notices a helicopter flying overhead. He suspects it might be looking for the fugitive, so he runs into the forest to warn him. Luckily, when Teddy finds him, he's safe. The man explains, it's just rich hunters shooting bears. They're not after him. Following blood tracks, they search for an injured bear, but when they reach a hilltop, the man realizes another blizzard is coming. Before they can return, the storm hits them. Luckily, the man finds a cave where they can hide. That night, Teddy begins to fall asleep. To keep him awake, the man finally tells his story. He used to be a soldier. After retirement, one day, he met his former lieutenant. They drank together, reminiscing about old times. But after a few drinks, the lieutenant started bragging his luxury cars, his mansion, his children, getting into top universities, everything the man didn't have. Unable to take the boasting anymore, he insulted the lieutenant, fueled by alcohol. The lieutenant punched him. They started fighting, rolling across the floor. Jealousy and anger took control of his mind. In the chaos, his hand found a knife. Without thinking, he stabbed the lieutenant in the chest. Watching the man lying in a pool of blood, his heartbeat slowly fading away, he finally came back to his senses. He didn't want to go to prison, and he couldn't face his wife and children, so he ran to the Siberian wilderness. But Teddy tells him he's not just a murderer. Teddy's sincerity finally earns the man's trust. When the blizzard ends, they both survive. The man, Alexei, takes Teddy to his own cabin. On the wall, Teddy notices carved marks. Alexei has been counting every passing day. He never stopped hoping to reunite with his family. In 3 more years, the statute of limitations will expire. Then, Alexei can return home, openly and freely. Perhaps, it's the bond with his family that kept him alive all these years. In the wilderness, Alexei asks if Teddy has a family. Teddy says no. He once thought he would build one, live happily, and achieve success. But one day, he suddenly realized he was trapped in a hollow, boring life, day after day, going nowhere. So he quit his job and abandoned his comfortable life. All of it, just to prove he had a soul beyond routine. And now, he has never felt more alive or more free. Alexei listens, lost in thought, but he says nothing. From then on, they spend time together, fishing, drinking, and talking about all the events Alexei missed. Over the years, they grow closer, becoming each other's only company. In the wilderness, one day, it's Teddy's his birthday, he fires a flare to celebrate. Watching the young man, full of energy, Alexei realizes staying here is wasting Teddy's life. Hearing that, Teddy falls silent. The next morning, a vehicle drives across the lake. Always cautious, Alexei hears it and quickly hides in the storage shed. Teddy wakes up and hides any sign of Alexei, pretending to sleep. The villagers saw the flare and thought Teddy might be in trouble. After confirming he's safe, they finally leave. The incident makes Alexei realize he has grown careless because of Teddy. Before leaving, he reminds Teddy again. This place is not his home, but Teddy insists it's his dream. Alexei shakes his head. There are no dreams in this cursed place. After that day, Teddy never sees Alexei again. Soon, spring arrives. The ice begins to melt. Unable to resist, Teddy visits Alexei's cabin, but he finds Alexei lying in bed, seriously ill. Teddy pours him a cup of hot tea and brings food and wine. Alexei sighs. He has almost forgotten what it feels like to be cared for. That night, afraid something might happen, Teddy stays with him. After a long silence, Alexei suddenly says if he dies, he wants his body to sink into Lake Baikal instead of being buried. Teddy tells him not to think like that and suggests going to a hospital, but Alexei shakes his head. Instead, he urges Teddy again to leave this place and return to his life. The next morning, while Teddy is chopping wood, Alexei slowly walks outside. For some reason, he suddenly changes his mind. He asks Teddy to go to the city and buy medicine. He also writes a letter asking Teddy to deliver it. Seeing this change, Teddy feels hopeful. He packs his things and sets off for the city. Perhaps, after so many years of loneliness, Alexei fears his friend may never return. Or maybe he hopes Teddy will leave and never come back. He keeps calling Teddy's name again and again, and Teddy answers him again and again, until finally, their voices fade into silence because the ice is melting. Teddy leaves on a hovercraft, then transfers to a car to reach the nearest city, but the doctor refuses to prescribe medicine without seeing the patient. Frustrated, Teddy slips him a small bribe and finally gets the prescription. Then he finds a woman who speaks English and asks her to translate the address on the envelope. It leads to the train station. Standing there, watching the crowd, Teddy suddenly realizes something is wrong. No one comes to collect the letter. No one is waiting for it. A sudden thought strikes him. He rushes back and asks the woman to translate the contents of the letter. Just as he feared, no one was meant to receive it because the letter was written to him. A terrible feeling fills his chest. Teddy immediately rushes back to the lake overnight, but now the ice has begun to melt. Cars can no longer cross it, so he rents a motorcycle in the village and speeds toward the other shore. Danger lurks everywhere, but Teddy only drives faster. All he wants is to see Alexei one more time. Finally, he reaches the cabin, but the truth is devastating. He never gets to see Alexei alive again. Alexei has already left this world. Teddy walks onto the crumbling ice. Now, he truly understands what loneliness means. Alexei's arrival and departure makes Teddy question the meaning of his life again. When the ice fully melts, Teddy takes a boat onto the lake. He plans to honor his friend's final wish. After a long hesitation, Teddy gently pushes Alexei's body into the water. He ties a large stone to weigh it down. Then he quietly watches as his friend slowly sinks into the depths of Lake Baikal. After everything is done, Teddy packs his clothes and shaves his long messy beard. Now, he must fulfill his friend's final wish, leave this place, and return to the life that truly belongs to him.